first, that the power of the conquerors is the power of the magic, and that the stricken gods will ever tempt thee away from the legions of the mighty, and that you will feel the subtle fluids of thy body moving to the breath of Tiamat, and the blood of King Yu who races in your veins. Be ever watchful, therefore, not to open this gate, or if thou must needs, put a time for its closing before the rising of the sun, and seal it at that time. For to leave it open is to be the agent of chaos. That the power of magic is the power of our master Enki, Lord of the seas and master of magic, father of Marduk, fashioner of the magic name, the magic number, the magic word, the magic shape. So, therefore, the priest who governeth the works of fire, and of the god of fire, Gishbar, called Gibil, must firstly sprinkle with the water of the seas of Enki as a testament to his lordship and a sign of the covenant that exists between him and thee. No, thirdly, that by the power of the elder gods and the submission of the ancient ones, thou mayest procure every type of honor, dignity, wealth, and happiness, but that these are to be shunned as the purveyors of death, for the most radiant jewels are to be found buried deep in the earth, and the tomb of man is the splendor of Ereshkigal, the joy of Cthulhu, the food of Azag-Thoth. Therefore, thine obligation is as of the gatekeep of the inside, agent of Marduk, servant of Enki, for the gods are forgetful and very far away, and it was to the priests of the flame that covenant was given to seal the gates between this world and the other, and to keep watch thereby through this night of time. And the circle of magic is the barrier, the temple, and the gate between the worlds. And know, fourthly, that it is become the obligation of the priests of the flame and the sword and of all magic to bring their power to the underworld and keep it chained thereby. For the underworld is surely the gate forgotten, by which the ancient ones ever seek entrance to the land of the living. And the ministers of Apsu are clearly walking the earth, riding on the air and upon the earth, and sailing silently through the water, and roaring in the fire. And all these spirits must be brought to subjection to the person of the priest of magic before any else, or the priest becomes prey to the eye of death of the seven Anunnaki, Lord of the underworld, ministers of the Queen of Hell. That the worshippers of Tiamat are abroad in the world and will give fight to the magician Lo. They have worshipped the serpent from ancient times and have always been with us. And they are to be known by their seeming human appearance, which has the mark of the beast upon them, as they change easily into the shapes of animals and haunt the nights of men, and by their odor, which comes of burning incenses unlawful to the worship of the elder ones. And their books are the books of chaos and flames, and are the books of the shadows and the shells, and they worship the heaving earth and the ripping sky and the rampant flame and the flooding waters. And they are the raisers of the legions of Maskim, the liars in wait. And they do not know what it is they do, but they do it at the demands of the serpent, at whose name even Ereshkigal gives fright, and the dread Cthulhu strains at his bonds. Mamut-Tiamat, queen of the ancient ones, know. Sixthly, that thou shalt not seek the operations of this magic, save by the rules and government set down herein. For to do other is to take the most awful risk for thyself and for all mankind. Therefore heed these words carefully, and change not the words of the incantations, whether thou understand them or understand them not, for they are the words of the pacts made of old and before time. So say them softly if the formula is softly, or shout them aloud if the formula is allowed, but change not one measure be afraid of any awful spectre that shall invade thine operation, or haunt thine habitat by day or by night. Only charge them with them the words of the covenant, and they will do as you ask. If thou be strong, and if thou performest these operations often, thou shalt see things becoming dark, and the wanderers in their spheres shall no more be seen by thee, and the stars in their places will lose their light, and the moon, Nana, by whom thou also workest, shall become black and extinguished, and Aratada shall be no more, and the earth